Hunt it.
I'm just waiting for the inevitable where my dog pees on the floor because it's been more than 20 minutes since he's been outside.
Well, as long as we don't have to take another shit break.
He's laying down, like looking like he wants a nap. So if he does that, then we'll be good.
Give that boy his antics.
I don't know, dude. Yeah, he needs to calm down. He like runs around and jumps all over everything, and like he keeps knocking Mags down. Mags is like 10 years old. It's not funny. Like she gets hurt.
It's just I can just imagine him like running full speed and like torpedoing her side.
You have no idea. Like when we were at the vet the other day, so the vet table is like chest height on me, like it's really high up, and he tried to launch himself from the ground up to the top of that table. He tried to jump onto like a little table that could see out the window, but there was absolutely no space for him to do that, so he wiped out. And this kid is just insane. Like he's a silly boy.
God. My dog just sleeps all damn day.
My dog too. All of them.
She sleeps like a good 12, 14, maybe 16 hours a day, and then every now and again she gets a little like hour and a half of like, I want to tear the world apart. Let's do this.
We call that the zoomies.
That's Smalls. She sleeps all the time. But if the other two act like they might be having a play session, she wants to be up in the middle of it.
So that she can shut it down, I'm sure.
Well, she just brings a nasty little edge to things, and then everybody has to be separated. Now, Finn, on the other hand, Finn does not sleep, except for when we went to Tallahassee this weekend for Papa Monkey's niece's baby shower. Finn spent the day over at Lisa's house. She has a golden as well, and Pearl has a lot of energy too. So Finn slept probably till lunchtime yesterday, which he never does. Never. Nice. He was whipped.
Man, like my dog, we get up in the morning, like she'll wake up like 8 o'clock and be like, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm gonna shit in your house if you don't take me outside."
Wow, she's aggressive.
Very aggressive in the morning. Like she jumps up and shakes the whole damn bed.
Wow.
And I'm like that. All right. Yeah, I'm like, all right. Let's go. And we go outside, and then we get inside. She eats her breakfast and then immediately gets back in the bed under the blanket with her mom and snuggles her. And I'm like, all right, I didn't just take care of you like I do every morning, but that's fine.
That's the way I feel.
She's like, that's exactly what you need to do, peasant. Leave me alone now.
And then she's in bed until Cheyenne gets up, and then she's out here while we're making breakfast or whatever. And then like today, if I'm off, she's just out on the couch sleeping until she needs to go outside, and then she'll come to me and be like, hey, what are you doing?
This is all I need you for. Yeah. Get with the program.
Yeah, that's my dogs. I feed them, make sure they have fresh water, walk them, let them in and out during the day to have playtime in the yard or whatever, talk to them all day, give them treats. I'm here with them all day. Let me tell you what, the minute he hits the door, it's like I don't even exist. And I'm like, seriously? But then my girlfriend the other day says, don't be upset. It's because they have you all the time. He's like a treat. And I'm like, yeah, he's like a treat, all right.
See, Athena's
one might call it a snack.
Athena's really good about, like, she doesn't pick one of us like that. Like, she loves us both, I feel.
Well, I'm not saying my dogs don't love me.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's not like she's excited when I walk in the door and everything. She freaks out, but then she'll go and snuggle her mom. Or, if her mom walks in, she freaks out when she walks in and then comes and snuggles me. Like, it just, whatever.
No, he's the only one who gets the coming through the door freak out because I don't go anywhere.
Yeah. She's really bad about when I walk in the door. She jumps up and like, you hear her when I'm on the phone with you. Sometimes you can hear her like running around. Yeah. She'll run down to the end of the hallway, grab something in her mouth, run all the way back to the front door full speed and like jump at me and take both paws and put them right one on each ball.
Nice. Oof. That's what Papa Monkey says when he comes to the door. He's like, don't jump on my balls. And
I'm like, you hoe.
I'm like, they spend all day waiting on you to come to that door so they can jump on your balls.
I'm like, you're
Bronco
such an
did
asshole.
that to me when I was sick. He launched from the ground to the bed right on top of my junk. and I had the flu and pneumonia at the time. And without thinking about it, I'm just like, "Wah!" And like I hit him in his side, and he's like,
What the fuck?
"Okay."
Wait, can you turn your lights on and make that face again so I can do a big pop out in the edit?
No, I cannot do that.
Dude, I don't know what it is about dogs. They just have an uncanny ability to find testicles. It's insane.
Yeah.
Can we roll some intro music now?
Get ready for unfiltered banter, laughs, and a barrel of fun. This is Monkeys Unfiltered.
So,
Hey, wait. Can I just say, I'm going to say it again. At this moment in time, which is different than the moment in time in which the show will air, the Phillies have won 3 of their first 3 series.
The future is the past, but the present is also the past and the future.
Just saying. Okay, continue. Right.
anyway,
What day is this?
now on to something that actually matters.
Ooh.
Unlike the Phillies.
The Phillies matter. Sorry, the Braves are blowing.
We, maybe not Jason, but we, Mom, live in a pretty cool state for the most part.
We do.
There's a lot of things to do here.
We're not saying your state's not cool, Jason. We're just saying you don't live here.
No, I mean your state kind of sucks.
My state's great.
I'm just kidding.
I love my state.
You know, you got the beaches.
Yeah.
No,
And that's how great the state is. There's nothing else.
No, we got this. We have the beaches. We have no income state tax.
Yeah. And then I think something that really sets us apart from any other state is we have some of the best theme parks
We
in the
do.
world.
You got the best governor in the country.
True.
There's that too.
All our theme parks are pretty centrally located too, so like you can make like a whole week out of it.
Mm-hmm. I think both of us have annual passes to Disney.
We do.
Disney World. So I thought maybe we could talk about some of our experiences in Disney and maybe our favorite, or not Disney specifically, but just any theme parks that you've been to. They don't have to be located in Florida, but any of your
Even
favorite rides.
SeaWorld, we'll count it.
They don't even have
cares?
rides anymore though.
Rides, food, interactions, almost getting in fights, almost getting arrested, anything like that you want to talk about.
Plenty of that.
Figure we can talk about.
So it's funny you say that because like I love Disney, right? And I love going just like when Papa Monkey and I go, but I always have the best time when it's like some, what's the word? Not conglomeration. Oh, it is conglomeration.
Yeah.
Okay, when there's some like, form of this group. I like when we, either go with
You can go as a
everybody.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tend to get Disney police called on us.
I've never had the Disney
Really?
police called on me. I just had some low-level ride flunkies talking on a walkie-talkie.
Why don't we start off with the Pirates of the Caribbean story?
Sure.
It's a good one.
Featuring my wife.
It's your wife's fault.
It really is,
I
actually.
mean, I'm not going to deny that, but that lady was also a dick and a half.
Well, and here's the other thing. Don't fuck with my kids.
Especially a minor.
Period. Don't mess with my kids. I will eat your face off. Nicest person in the world, give you the shirt off my back. Do not mess with my kids.
Or you become a zombie.
I will eat your face off. So do you want me to tell this story or?
So I'll tell it up until.
Okay.
So we were in Disney World, Magic Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
Orlando, not
California,
Disneyland.
because that's Disneyland.
Right.
And the
Just
way you
to
know
make
how
it
you
clear, because some people don't know that.
do you know how you remember that? Because Disneyland is right outside of LA, and land is LA. Disney World is in Orlando, ORL.
Oh, world. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you think that's why he named it like that?
I don't know. It just jumped out at me one day, and I was
But
like,
it is a good way to remember.
Yeah. But so we were going to get on Pirates of the Caribbean. It was not overly crowded. Like we didn't have to do the whole queue in the outside bit. It was right like inside the
Into
doors.
the covered thing.
So you could walk straight through like the little canopy area. Well, Cheyenne, what was she doing? I think she just got separated. Maybe she stopped to get a drink of water.
She went to the bathroom or
something, or she was throwing something out or what, because there's that little cantina across the street we'd been at first.
So she got like a few steps behind us, and we got in line. It was like 6 of us.
So there was 2, 4, 6. There were 8 of us total.
Yeah. So the 7 of us get in line, and then another party is like kind of slowly moving into the line, but they're taking up
a lot of space.
Width. And if you've ever met my wife, or you've been in one of her streams or anything, she is a bulldog.
She can't be
when it comes to walking through crowds of people.
A bulldog.
She is. Excuse me.
She's Jack Doherty.
Excuse me. Right. She will move you if you're not being like polite and just, oh, my bad, whatever. And she got behind these people and she was like, excuse me. This is her account of it. Excuse me. Can I get through, please? Excuse me. And so she put her hands like this and kind of was like, oh, excuse me, and like pushed through a couple
parted
people.
The ways.
Yeah. I just need to get my family up there. And we're like, what? We're 16, 17 at this point.
Yeah, I think y'all were 17 because that was my hang up, that she was a minor.
Yeah. And so she kind of like pushed her way through. Like, I just need to get out of my family. No, excuse me. Like, these people were paying her no fucking attention. And she gets up to us and we're in the line, and it kind of snakes back and forth. And we get up to one where we turn around and we're coming around the corner. And at this point, the lady from that group, the mom, I don't know, grabbed Cheyenne by her arm and was like, that was very rude of you, what you did back there. And then all hell broke loose and Mama Bear came out.
Listen, Mama Monkey was like, excuse me, get your hand off my child. And so the woman's excuse was, so I'd say that woman and I were close in age. And she had kids with her husband, and what I'm either assuming was, I don't think it was her mother, because the lady wasn't that old, but maybe like her older sister or something was along with them, like us on a family trip. And that woman's arm was in a sling. Not like a cast or anything, but just like a sling like you can get at the drugstore. I don't know what was really wrong with her, right? So I'm like, get your hands off my child. What is wrong with you? Well, she bumped into her. She's in a cast. And I'm like, she's not in a cast, lady. I don't know where you come from, but my husband's a doctor, and I guarantee you that's not a cast. She's in a sling. If she bumped her, she's very sorry. She was just trying to catch up with her family. And I do think she asked you to step aside. Well, she doesn't get to just cut line. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Get your hands off my child.
Yeah, she was like holding on to her, wasn't she?
Mind you, this whole time, my wife doesn't just, she's jawing at her too. So
she's talking back. Yeah.
She's like, I didn't know. I would have apologized if you just said something. All I was trying to do was catch up with my family.
Bear hugged her from behind, lifted her up, and just started walking away.
So now the woman lets go of Cheyenne, but she leashes onto me and grabs me around the arm. And you guys this is not something you guys can relate to, but when I was a child, if you didn't do right, you got pinched in the little fatty part of your arm right here, or fingernails dug into you.
Because it hurts.
Right. And so she's digging her fingernails into my arm, and she's yelling, I need the police. I need the police. She's assaulting me. She's assaulting me. And I'm like, lady, are you insane? Because you have your hand on me, right? And unfortunately, when Papa Monkey guested on the show, we were not video yet. So just trust me when I say Papa Monkey got some swollitis, And so I am, going off at this woman. Right. Can't put his arms down by his side. I'm going off at this woman about don't put your hands on my child. She's a minor. What is wrong with you? You should have got my attention. The whole time she's screaming for the cops. The Disney people are now like, what's going on? She's like, I'm calling the cops on you. I'm like, great. Here's my Disney membership number. Here's my whole name. Get your damn hands off me. Well, her child is with her too, her son, and he steps up behind her and he's bigger than her. And then her husband kind of walks up and I'm like, oh yeah, here, hold my beer. Here comes Jason, who is a good, 6'3", 6'4", Papa 6'3". Monkey, who can pick up a Volkswagen. And all of a sudden she lets go of me, right? And Papa Monkey is bear hugging me just kind of like you did Cheyenne. And I'm like, no, I'm going to rip her face off. Don't put your hands on my child. What is wrong with you? And if you've ever been in Disney, this zigzag just goes back and forth, back. So we kept passing each other, right? And every time we would pass it, she's on the phone. Oh, and at the time, I was still caring about what my hair looked like. Oh, she's got blonde hair. She's got on a pink shirt, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. And my number is blah, blah, blah. My full name is, and Papa Monkey's like, shut up. And I'm like, no.
I remember getting to the front of the line where they're like, all right, lane 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. And the lady's like, because the chick's yelling down at her, don't let them on the ride. Don't let them on the ride. And the 20-something-year-old chick's just like,
get on the boat.
Boat 4? I don't know.
Just you get over there on the other side of the water, and then they'll be over here, and then there will be no more problems.
Well, and what's so funny is there were these 2 Asian kids. When we passed, they would be on this side, we would be here, and the lady we were fussing with would be here. So in the Z, so they were probably 10 people ahead of us. They have their phones out. Oh, American fight. They're videoing, they're talking to their people on the phone. And I'm just like, great, we're going to be on the internet. But I don't care. Get your hands off my kid.
Yeah, but I remember when we got off the ride, there was an actual Disney police officer standing right there. And he was just, I think he was waiting for either us or her. But we walked right by him and he was just like, uh-huh.
Yeah, he's like, go.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
he didn't give a shit.
We didn't physically get into a fight per se. And really, had we got down to it, I had marks on me, she did not. So it's probably not in her best interest for me to stop and talk to that cop. But
yeah.
No.
And remembering that her husband had tried to bow up at you too. Right. And I'm like,
that right, because that's when you stepped up behind me. You were like, I don't think that's a good idea, buddy.
Well, and I don't want to fight anybody.
Right.
I don't care what I look like. I oftentimes forget what I look like. People always like, you're so intimidating. I was afraid to talk to you. And I'm like, why?
Right.
But I don't know what I look like because I don't look at myself that often. Okay. So, but the guy, he's jaw jacking, and I'm like, you're going to want to relax.
Yeah. And the guy was like,
Right.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't want to fight anybody either. But to aggressively come, and mind you, at 17, you don't know. Is she 20? Is she 14? Is she 25? Yeah. I mean, I get it that you don't just naturally assume I'm about to snatch up a minor child.
But also, don't fucking touch people.
Exactly. Doesn't matter how old she is, don't touch people. But when I point out to you, she's a minor, take your hands off of her, don't double down. Right. That's certainly not what you do.
Well, let's remember that Cheyenne put her hands on people first.
Well,
in a non-threatening way, but
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Granted, from the very beginning, there's probably a different way that could have happened. But
yeah, absolutely, because Cheyenne is very not aggressive, but firm when you're not.
But here's the other thing:
doing the thing you're supposed to.
You're in Disney with 400 billion other people. You're gonna get pushed, bumped, knocked around. It just, and most people immediately go, "Oh, sorry." And Cheyenne says she did say as she was going by, "Sorry, excuse me, I just need to get to my family." She said she didn't even really realize that she had bumped the lady. She was just kind of apologizing for cutting through the line. And, and Cheyenne's like, if the lady had just said, ow, I would have went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I believe that because I know Cheyenne, I know the back of my hand, knowing that child was 13 years old.
Well, most people would.
She definitely would have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I'm just trying to catch up with my family. But no, they just went hella full on.
Mm-hmm.
No, not going to happen. But I love Disney.
So yeah, let's move on from drama now. What are some favorite parts of any park, not just Disney, but rides, food, attractions, interactions, whatever. Who cares?
Do you have one, Jason?
Yeah, but the one I'm thinking of, like, either you'll have to tell it or we just shouldn't talk
No,
about
go
it on the
ahead.
podcast. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Where you got a call from the cops who were at your house asking you about your mother.
Oh, yeah. That was
yeah.
Disney also, but we were at,
Mm.
were we at Hollywood Studios? Because we'd done
Yeah,
Star Wars that
yeah.
morning.
I
Yeah,
remember we
me
were
too.
sitting right there. Yeah.
It was this
We were
group.
having like hot dogs and pretzels and stuff.
It's this group again, the same group.
A
So,
bit older.
right. So for anybody who listens that doesn't know, I love my mother to the end of the earth. She is my mother. And I've probably have alluded before on this show that sometimes she can be a handful.
I know what that's like.
Yeah, right.
Me too.
I know your mother-in-law must really be tough, both of y'all. Sorry.
No, my mother-in-law's a saint.
Your mother-in-law is a saint. But what do we call? Okay, my mom had a stroke in 2019, which really, really changed everything. She's not who she was before. She struggles. She now lives with a traumatic brain injury. She often has a hard time processing information and understanding the relational things that happen in events and just in the world in general. Not as to say she wasn't a pain in the ass beforehand. She was. My mom is very much, she wants to be in the know, in the middle of everything that's going on. She wants to be included. She wants to be a part of everything. I'm very much of the mindset that I don't need to be a part of everything. In fact, most of the time I want you to leave me alone. And so when I can get my monkeys in one place and we go and do things together, I'm really not inclined to want to share that with somebody. Doesn't mean we can't have separate time with her, but this was an incident where you guys, Jason, you and Ariel were in town and Hayden and Cheyenne had come down and we all went to Disney for the day. Now, I'm not much of a Facebooker anymore. I used to be, but because and I've said this before, because I spend so much time on it for social media, I don't really use it personally much anymore. When I do put something on it, it's because I like to see it in my memories later and remind me, oh yeah, that was a great day. So as we were going through the gates to park, I just checked in and I tag everybody. So you guys have the memory too.
Because I go on Facebook.
Right. I don't think anything of it, right? Throw my phone in my purse. We go, we're having a good time. We're doing, we got caught in that torrential downpour and had to stand in the tunnel. We finally got to go do our rides and we're just like, okay, we're having a great day. We're walking to
that was that where we stood in the tunnel. That was to get on Star Wars, right?
Yep,
Oh,
because it was
like
raining.
the entrance right into Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. So we go to head to the other side because we had promised Ariel we would do the rock and roller coaster. So we're walking to the other side. My phone, now it's rang a couple times prior to this with a number I didn't recognize, but an area code that I did recognize. So I just pushed it to voicemail. I'm with my family. I don't care, right? By about the fourth or fifth time this number calls, I'm like, I probably should find out what this is all about. And we have just come out of rock and roller coaster. We've stopped to have a snack. There's a little outdoor dining area there. We're sitting there. And I'm like, let me pick up this message. And it is, my whole family uses the same primary care doctor. So it's a little nurse from his office. She's relatively new. She hadn't been in the practice very long. And she leaves me a voicemail that, I need to call. There's something detrimental going on with my mom. And I'm like, oh my God, what can it be? Unfortunately, my mom struggles with some demons. And occasionally feels like she only has one way out, and will voice those feelings sometimes to people that she shouldn't. And mental health and traumatic brain is just by the grace of God, I don't deal with all of that. And I know that there are plenty of people who do, and it is a real thing and should be taken very seriously. But my mom was struggling because she had seen on Facebook that we were all at Disney and she didn't get invited. And it doesn't take much in her new state of being post-stroke to send her over the edge. And she just got inside of her head, and she called the doctor's office and said all the wrong things and sent everybody into a panic. Where the story gets a little comical, which is what I think was your point, Jason, is after I get the little nurse settled and I talk to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the doctor and everyone who's looking out for my mom's well-being, God bless those people who serve in those roles, I then get a phone call that I do recognize, and it is from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, which is where I live. And I'm like, Lord, what could this be now? And I answer the phone, and the guy is like, this is Sergeant such and such with the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. We need permission to breach your door. And I'm like, excuse me, what? Breach my door?
Yeah, please don't do
What
that.
the hell does that mean? And they're like, well, we've gotten a call from the medical provider that, your mom is unresponsive. They think she may be in some trouble. No one is answering the door. We'd like to breach the door, your permission to breach the door. I'm like, don't breach my door. My mother does not live there. She's not there. That's why she's not answering the door. But as a precaution post her stroke, we did a power of attorney until all of my address, my contact information is all over her stuff. And it just turned into a really just long drawn out process. Thank God my mom got the help she needed and we were able to go on and enjoy our day. But it was a very, why am I always at the middle of drama when we go to Disney?
That's a good question.
That's what you get for being the focal point of why we all are existing.
I think that's called the matriarch.
There you go. I couldn't think of that word.
Yeah.
Okay,
well.
So, for once again to try and take us off of drama.
So I have one.
Rides or food.
I have one. It's a Disney story too, but it's an Animal Kingdom.
Hold on. Jason has something.
I could go.
Yes.
Okay, so oddly enough, there's no drama, because you're not in this story. So in high school, I had a friend who came from a wealthy family. He was an only child.
Naturally.
I was friends with him before I knew they were wealthy. Okay, so I think it was it for his 16th birthday, maybe 17. I can't remember. Anyway, maybe it was even 18. Not sure, but it probably wasn't 18. Anyway, so this is me, him, his two cousins, and at least one other friend of his. Like, that was a mutual friend between him and I. We all went to Universal Studios. We drove from the west side of Jacksonville to Orlando Universal Studios in a limousine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he had airbrush shirts made for everybody, so we're all wearing like kind of the same outfit.
Was it his birthday?
Yeah, it was his birthday. I think it was 16 or 17. I can't remember which. But yeah, it was just a really great time. So we all drive down in a limousine, have a good time. We got fast passes for literally everything. But yeah, it was like we got to the front of the line at every thing. We went back and forth in a limousine. Like, all our food and stuff was covered. Like, it was just a wonderful time.
Just nice, yeah.
Yeah, it was just nice, enjoyable.
Not having to worry about anything.
Universal. Yeah, we went to like Wizarding World and all the things. It was good stuff.
I've grown up only ever going to Disney World, but the few times I've been to Universal, like, I've had so much fun. And I think the last time I was there was Grad Bash for high school. Like, the park closes at 9. They kick everybody out. We show up at like 8:30, and we have the park until like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. Like riding the Hulk over and over and over again with no line was the coolest shit ever. This is like before the Velocicoaster though, which I want to go ride really bad, but I only have Disney passes.
So here's the thing. I don't care for Universal.
I like the Wizarding World, but they have the new park, Epic Universe, where they've got a bunch of stuff apparently.
I haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a while either.
But apparently Epic Universe is epic.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about it, but I don't know. But I mean, my favorite... I can't cut them out when I'm talking.
No, you can't.
Please just leave this silence in here of the dogs.
I hope everyone's enjoying it. All because the pool guy is here. And I want to...
How dare he?
I want to yell at him to shut up! But that only makes my little one go harder.
Right. She's like, who are you talking to?
Did you hear? She's the only one still. Mike has probably come and gone.
What the hell was that?
That was Finn.
Really?
Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Danger, Will Robinson! Danger, Will Robinson!
Danger!
Oh, man.
Well, I've about had enough of them. Hold, please.
You can like see the vein in her. And they're done.
That's okay. Anyways.
I fully expected when she did like this to then like.
Anyway, so Magic Kingdom is and probably always will be my hardcore favorite. Just that's what I grew up on. I mean, I'm older than Disney, so there you go. It's what we did as kids. It was before all the rest of the stuff was there. But here's the thing. When I have season passes, which we had for a long, long time, and then through all of the trauma the world went through, we gave them up and decided we were not going to go back because we would rather travel other places, see and do other things. But then we got a really good deal on Florida passes. So here we are. Anyways, when I have a pass, I will drive down specifically to go in, do Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, and I'm out. Because I... Okay, then.
Small, shut the fuck
up.
Did she walk in there specifically to bark at you?
Probably. Hold, please.
Shut up.
Oh my God, that's like in the Phillies game last night. The Dodgers pitcher was like just going under. Like he put 4 people on base in a row walking. He walked 4 people on base consecutively. And he threw a ball that he thought was a pitch. Of course it was a pitch. He threw a pitch he thought was a strike, and the guy the ump called it a ball and walked somebody else, and he just goes, and the guys in the booth were like, don't need to be a lip reader for that one.
There's plenty of that.
Yeah.
If you watch Sportsline, there's so much of it.
There's a this is one thing. We'll get back to your thing, Mom.
Yeah.
There's a one clip of Blaine Gabbert when he was still with the Jaguars, and somebody went to like hit him as he was going out of bounds, and they kind of missed, and he kind of like sidestepped him, and he was like, "Whoa there, motherfucker!"
Yeah.
Disney passes.
Yes.
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, because I will just go
You're
in and
old as
out and do
shit.
the 3 rides I care the most about because I don't really like people. And I don't want to push and shove and stand in line or whatever. But my husband likes Epcot just because,
Epcot.
he wants to
Wants to drink.
He wants to drink his way around the world, which we never really do. That's always his big, we're going to go and drink around the world. We get stuck in Italy and never go any further.
Because,
did y'all ever do Guardians?
Is that in...
It's in Epcot.
No, we haven't done that one yet.
Because you said you were going.
We were going, and then Papa Monkey forgot his wallet at work on Friday afternoon that has his pass and his driver's license in it.
For sure.
We're going next weekend.
Naturally. Okay, you should definitely do Guardians. It's off of Fast Pass now. So it's rope drop now. So you walk up and just get in line.
So I don't have to get in the virtual queue?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's off of the virtual queue. You can just get in line. It's so fucking cool. I think for the longest time, Space Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain were my two favorite roller coasters ever. Guardians of the Galaxy is Space Mountain on crack. It's so great. You don't have to give a shit about the movie. The ride is just like, I don't even know what the fuck was happening on the ride. I just know it was awesome.
So when we went to Hollywood Studios, which is rapidly becoming high on my favorite list.
Oh yeah.
The first time and did Star Wars, Papa Monkey didn't ride with us. I don't remember why. Oh, because we got caught in that torrential rain thing, and then he just wasn't feeling it, right? So he set it out, and we all did it. But he did it this last time we went, and he was like, "Dang, I should have done this the first time," and he thought it was really cool.
You should also do. I think it's in Magic Kingdom. I want to say, Tron. Yeah, because it's over there by Space Mountain. They put it right behind Space Mountain.
Yeah.
They redid the whole exit and gift shop to Space Mountain. If you like roller coasters that go fast,
He doesn't like roller coasters at all.
dude, Tron is the shit. It feels so scary because you lay down on a bike basically and you pull the handlebars and this thing clamps your back.
That's
So
like
clamps you down to the seat.
that's like Avatar.
Yeah, so you get a locker before you go in so you can put in all your shit, like if you're carrying a bag or whatever. And then you go out on the other side, you can pull it out. But yeah, you pull the handlebars and it clamps you down, and it's we were going so fast. I think the pictures have expired now. We were going so fast at the beginning that Shine was like, I don't know what to do with my face. My eyes are I can't. And so the picture when it launches you, she's just like,
oh gosh. Hey, I remember another good one. Jason, do you remember the year that me, you, and Papa Monkey and Ariel went to Busch Gardens? You guys were in Tampa for whatever the con was you were going through at the time. Yeah, we went to Busch Gardens and it rained.
I don't remember.
And the elephant was giving people flowers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So it rained. So the park almost completely emptied out.
She got her henna tattoo finally.
Oh, I thought we did that at Epcot at the
maybe.
thing.
I thought it was Busch Gardens, but yeah, she's been talking about getting that devotion tattoo in Mongolian script, but she got a henna instead.
But that trip to Busch Gardens, do you remember this? Because it rained and the park almost emptied out, and so the elephants were doing a demo in the back. So the girl was out there brushing them and feeding them or whatever, and the little elephant really liked people. So she would come right up to the fence, and the lady would give her a flower, and she would reach it out to somebody standing at the fence. It was so cute. And then didn't we go play all the games, and you won Ariel a big old teddy bear or something? And we had to drag it all around the park.
Yeah, it was the ring toss or something.
Yeah.
It was Ariel that won it, though, I think.
Oh, I thought you won it for her.
I think she did it.
Like a good husband.
No.
So... Speaking of parks with animals, it's not really a theme park, it's a zoo, but were you with my dad still, Mom, when the giraffe
Yes. That was at Silver
licked
Springs.
up the side of his face?
You were a
I
baby.
thought it was the Jacksonville Zoo.
No, that was at Silver Springs. Your Mima and Papa were with us.
Sure wasn't at the Jacksonville Zoo? Because they have that elevated walkway past the giraffe.
I'm 100% positive because we were getting ready to get on the glass bottom boats and ride around the little thing because your Mima wanted to do that. And we were standing there and it was just ooh, ah, and you were in the little carrier thing and had this little hat on. And so your dad picks you up and the giraffe was trying to get the hat off of your head and just right up the side of your dad's face. It was disgusting.
Did he like take the hat eventually though? Yeah, just
Yeah.
walked away with it.
He got the hat. We didn't get it back. Nor did we want it back. So it was like one of those little bucket hats, you know?
Yeah. You can keep it. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, no, it's yours now. So, Jason, have you guys ever been to Six Flags? Outside of Atlanta?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
I was gonna mention, Hayden, you remember when you, Cheyenne, Matthew, Ariel, and I went on Space Mountain?
Yes.
Do you remember what happened then?
Oh, I don't remember what happened now. I just remember being in the car and Matthew's in the very back just looking like a doofus on the photo.
So here's the thing. So I was in the very back seat. I think he was in front of me.
Yeah,
or maybe
like
Ariel was in front of me.
Yeah.
I think Ariel was in front of me, then him, then Cheyenne, then you.
Mm-hmm.
This is from back to front. Like you were in the front, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So typically, this has always been the case every time I've been on like a roller coaster of any kind. So they do like the seatbelt check, yeah?
Yeah.
And then
sometimes
they send you sometimes they send you forward and there's a secondary check, right? And they'll just go, all right, strap in or whatever, like, you know, get ready. That didn't happen. So it was the one checkpoint. They're like, okay, you know, check it. No one checked my seatbelt. And so my thing was still all the way elevated. Like it was up. And we're going, and so I'm like, oh, we're going to the secondary checkpoint, and they'll make sure everybody's are down then. We get like in this dark tunnel, and it's getting a little hectic, and I'm like, hey guys,
yeah, like excuse me,
are we supposed to be like strapped in already?
In here?
And everybody's like, yes, like you're gonna die. And so I yanked it down really fast, but I never felt it lock in or anything. So I just did this number. I like took it on both sides and just held it down as hard as I possibly could the entire time.
I was like, clearly,
and it was nerve-wracking.
Clearly you made it.
Yeah, so Matthew and Ariel were like panicking. I couldn't hear you guys up front, but Matthew and Ariel were like, "Are you okay?"
I don't even think I heard it by that point.
I remember because Don and I set that one out because it was like the end of a long day, and we sat out and waited on you guys to do it, and y'all came out. And you were like, "I almost died."
Well, I wasn't upset about it. I was just like, "Yeah,
almost
died. I almost forgot to put my seatbelt on."
So when y'all do end up going to Epcot, Mom, you have to try the Connections Cafe. Because you remember how like forever they were redoing that whole entrance with the two buildings on the side? Mm-hmm. So when you walk into the left building, I think it is towards Test Track.
Oh, okay. Which has been closed for refurbishment the last 27 times we've been there.
Yeah, it's going to be Test Track 3.0.
Nice.
They have a new cafe in there. Ooh. Oh. And they have really good fucking food.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've also got a bakery on one side, and there's a Starbucks in the park now.
Oh, cool. That'll make my husband happy. The reason I asked you about Six Flags, Jason, is because when I was a kid, when my parents were married, my dad was military, and there used to be a military base. How far is that from where you live? An hour and a half, an hour? Gadsden?
Six Flags.
Gadsden? It's like an hour.
Yeah. And so we would go to Six Flags as a kid because it was close. And man, I used to, I don't remember the name of it, but they had one, it was one of the first ones in the country that did a whole flip thing. God, I used to love that. And then they had one called the Mind Bender. And then for the longest time, they had the longest wooden track in the country. I don't think they hold that record anymore. In fact, I think their wooden track has since been disassembled because I remember going, "Aw." But I would
hope that every wooden track has been disassembled.
That was the shit when I was a kid.
Don't tell that to people in Ohio. They love their wooden coasters up there.
Yeah, no. To be honest, I don't know that I've been to a theme park in other states. Like I never went to the Busch Gardens in Virginia because there's one right outside of Quantico. I never went there when I lived in DC. I've been to Mall America. Does that count? It's got an amusement park inside of it.
I was thinking about that little train for kids that runs along the mall.
In the mall, yeah.
What was that ride, Mom, that we rode like 4 or 5 times one time we were there? It's like you dangle your feet off of it's where your feet are dangling.
Soaring.
No. It's a roller coaster. It's an outdoor roller coaster. And you like take your shoes off if you're wearing flip-flops and you go over the alligators.
That's so there is another theme park we've been to. That's at Wild Adventures.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the roller coaster, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we rode that like 3 or 4
times. Yeah, we would get off and get right back in line because it flips upside down too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not technically a theme park or anything, but like when I was a kid, dude, nothing beat Adventure Landing.
Yeah.
That place is closed now.
It was like over the top. Like, sure, there weren't necessarily roller coasters. It was like a big water park, and
yeah, man,
I
golf,
had such a good time in there. Yeah,
go-karting, arcades.
How do I do it?
Yeah,
that's the trip with the Pirates of the Caribbean fight.
Yeah, she got snatched up. Yeah, dude. Oh, Adventure Landing was the shit. You had the arcade, and then when you went out, you could go right to the go-karting. You can go straight to mini golf, or you can go left to the water park. That water park scared the shit out of me. Like that giant half pipe thing.
Yeah.
Jason, tell the story.
I'm about to. So, Nan took me one time. And so, like, you know when you're a kid and you get lost, sometimes you go to, like, the front of a store and, like, you're just like, hey, I need to find my mom. Okay, well, what's your mom's name? Then it's, like, Sue or whatever. So you're like, okay, Sue, come to the front of the store. Well, there's been multiple occasions, this is one of them, where they had to page Nan to come, and, like, 14 grandmas will come up and, like, oh, Nan, like, you know, whatever. Anyway, so I'm at the top of this thing. Nan's doing her own thing, and I go off by myself. I can't remember how old I was, but I was probably double digits.
You were old enough to be standing in line for a water slide on your own.
Yeah, so I go up to the top, and it's the enclosed, and like you sit on an inner tube thing, but they didn't have any singles, so I had to ride a double by myself. And so the guy's like, here, get in the front. And I'm like, aren't I supposed to be in the back? He goes, no, get in the front. I was supposed to be in the back. So as I'm going down this thing, I like come all the way off the inner tube, and I scrape up my leg real bad. So they had to shut the whole thing down, turn the water off, and somebody had to like walk up there and get me. And then they took me to the first aid joint, and then they had to page Nan to come to the first aid.
He shut the entire water park down because he cut his toe.
Well, I mean, any blood in the water, man, they shut all that down.
Good thing there was no sharks. Good thing there was no sharks.
Yeah, in the fresh water, for sure.
Well, you know, you never know.
Could have been gators, though.
I thought I had a picture of us on the trip that Matthew went with us to, and I just was kind of skimming through here, and I don't really see it, but dang.
I remember seeing the picture of Matthew in the roller coaster with us not that long ago.
I know. I feel like I saw this one not too long ago, but it's all right. I don't know. We've been to SeaWorld too. Nothing to get excited about, I don't think. Now, when y'all...
Shamu died, right?
I don't know. When y'all were little, we used to go to... Aquatica.
Yeah.
I do like Aquatica. I like to get in the lazy river and just float around. And like when the kids would get without inner tubes and get in the jet stream and just go.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
Lazy river is like my favorite thing.
I love a lazy river.
I went on the Itchnatukney with like a church group one time. It was good. We saw like 1,400 water moccasins though.
Yeah, that doesn't sound exciting to me at all.
The last time I was at Itchnatukney. It's ingrained in my brain to call it the Itch Me Touch Me.
Itch Me Touch Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I was there was with a giant group of friends on senior skip day. We drove out there. In my Jetta. I was driving. I had Jeremy in my passenger seat, Cheyenne, her cousin, and someone else in the back seat. And a couple things actually. We were driving on the way there, and like we're on like one of those back roads in the middle of like nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. It's just flat, and it's like every few miles you just have one little intersection with a stop sign. And I'm doing like 65, 70 down this road, and you know when you're moving and something is also moving the same speed as you, it seems like it's not really moving.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Out of the corner of my eye, I see something that like is kind of not keeping speed, but like drawing closer, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And by the time I've realized what it is, there's a turkey now rolling over the top of my car.
Ooh.
Nice.
I nailed that fucking turkey.
Was
Wow.
the turkey going 70 miles an hour?
No, he was running like perpendicular to the road, so like he was
Oh.
running across it, so it just kind of seemed like he was stationary, you know?
Was he blind?
Turkey for dinner.
I don't know, but he was trying to make it across the road before I got there, and it
Oh.
was just terrible timing because I was the only car for miles.
Yeah, I
So
was going
wait,
to say, he
is
probably
that
should have rethought his plan.
Is that the monkey mischief joke? Why did the turkey cross the road?
To get hit by a Jetta.
To get hit by a Jetta.
But
Biting me.
if she ever listens to this, she'll probably kill me. But my wife's cousin, she didn't realize that she was getting sick, and you know we're not old enough, but she was drinking, and she began to not feel great, and so she was just in a tube on the river, and at some point people just had to like hold her head out of the water to make sure she didn't drown.
Oh my gosh.
It was awful.
Word.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds bad. Oh my God. Looking for this picture. Look what I just found, Hayden.
That is a blob of something.
You can't tell what it is?
I can't see it
No.
This is Hayden on his 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C.
Oh, using
his
my
nose to type a text because he didn't want to take his gloves off.
either. Oh, now I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing that white hat.
Yes. I forgot
I was
all
like, what
about
the
that.
fuck is that?
That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot all about Wild Adventures. So I've been to a theme park in Georgia and Florida, and I really think that's it. I don't know that I've been to theme parks in other parts of the country. I
Yeah,
hear there's like an awesome one somewhere in Michigan, but
Yeah.
my husband doesn't really like roller coasters because he doesn't like heights.
Puss. I don't like heights.
I don't like them either, but I like roller coasters.
I don't like heights, and I think the tallest roller coaster I've ever been on was the Hulk, and I rode it like 6 times. So
Well, and I'm also not going to let something I'm afraid of dictate what I do.
dude,
Word.
the Hulk is really cool because like you're just at like a 45-degree angle, and it just fucking launches your ass straight into the air.
Mm-hmm.
You know what my favorite thing is? The double shot.
Oh, that's the one that bounces up and nope.
So it's like a big circle on the pole, and it just goes whew, and your stomach stays on the ground, and then it goes whew, and then your stomach stays up top.
That's the one thing I won't do. The fucking drop towers. I hate
love
that.
those things,
I
dude.
hate that shit.
Like if I had the choice to do anything in a theme park, that would be it.
I'm not doing anything that makes your stomach go up into your...
I feel like those are going to give me brain damage. I can't do them. Oh, hi, bunko.
No, I'm not doing anything that makes your stomach just flow up into your... Yeah, or your heart just... So...
Yeah, like I've never, ever, the amount of times I've been there, I've never done the Hollywood Tower of Terror.
Me either.
And I never will.
Oddly enough, my husband says that's one he would do, and I'm
Because
like,
it's enclosed.
But it's like a straight drop. Like, no,
Yeah.
not
No,
doing
fuck
that.
No.
No,
Dude.
no. Dude.
Oh my God.
A rock and
Did you
roller
ever
coaster, like Spaceman, things that are over in like 90 seconds. You know.
Yeah. That's like Tron takes like 40 seconds max.
Well, and that's the thing. You stand in line for 2 hours. Like
It's worth it though.
Like when I will never do the Avatar thing again because we stood in line we had no idea what the ride was like. We were just like, oh, we're here, we'll do it. Stood in line for 2.5 hours for like a 60-second. The ride was cool, don't get me wrong, but I was like, no. Yeah. And what I felt so bad about is there was a girl in our group, so they only take like a dozen people in at a time because you get on those little motorcycle things or like you're supposed to be on the dragon's back or. Mm-hmm. And you get on it and it's the same thing. It like clamps on you like that and then leans forward. And this girl had stood in line the entire 2.5 hours with us. And when I say 2.5 hours, I'm not exaggerating. She'd stood in line the entire 2.5 hours and she was heavy and the thing wouldn't close. Well, so after standing in line for 2.5 hours in front of everybody, they pull her out of the ride and tell her she has to wait outside.
At Tron,
I'm like,
the start of the line, they have 2 bikes
Right.
to make sure that it will secure you to the thing.
I'm not saying they don't have that at Avatar. I didn't see it. And when I say she was heavy, she was heavy. There was no doubt that you are a heavy girl. It's not like you were just thick. You were heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't see it on the ride, and I can't imagine, if I were heavy and if I had any question, I wouldn't spend 2.5 hours standing in line to just be embarrassed in front of it. I felt so bad for her.
There's plenty of signs, I'm sure, that are like, look, this ride is, compact.
Compact is not the word.
Yeah.
Even like Papa Monkey, because he had to really suck in French. The girl had to and get it shut. I was like, damn, she probably just broke your ribs. And then of course, I have boobage, so that's a thing.
Those kind of like that securing like method it feels so sketchy, but when you're in the ride, you're like, God, I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Fuck.
Because those bikes that you're on, they move forward and then they tilt at almost a 90-degree angle. And because it's one of those visual things where then you feel like but I mean, because there are times when you go over the cliff, I was like, oh my God.
So speaking of like being too heavy to do things, did y'all hear about Dank DeMoss suing Lyft?
Oh yeah, because they wouldn't pick his ass up.
So the guy, he's driving like a Honda Civic or something, I don't know. And she walks up. This woman is like nearly 500 pounds. And so she walks up and he's like, I can't take you. And she's just like, why not? He goes, because my tires can't handle it. Like, he's literally like, it's not going to happen. You're just too big. You can't fit. You can't do whatever. He goes, you need to order in like an Uber XL. And she goes, no, I've taken plenty of like Ubers and Lyfts and stuff. I don't need to do that. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't take you in my car. And if I remember correctly, I don't think the lawsuit went in her favor.
I would imagine not.
Yeah.
And who was this?
So it's a Detroit rapper named Dank DeMoss.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't know who this is. Oh, so speaking of rappers, I don't remember this person's name, but apparently he was semi well known or famous in the metro Atlanta area as a rapper, Lil Somebody. And last weekend
they're all Lil Somebody.
Yeah, last weekend we were out doing something, I don't know, and we'd stopped and he was pumping gas and the radio was on and it was this news commentary about how all of metro Atlanta was up in arms because the police shot little what's his face as he was fleeing the scene where he had just broke into someone's house and was robbing them. But they were all pissed that and the cop that shot him, they were reporting that the rapper died. That's what it was. And they were all pissed because number one, he got shot, and number two, the cop who shot him was black. And the rapper guy was black, and I'm like,
traitor.
What does that have to do with anything? The guy broke into somebody's house and he got shot. I mean, what? I just, like whatever.
Yeah.
So, this is really bad. But the other day we were at Cheyenne's cousin's house for a game night, and her uncle was trying to remember the name of it's this big dude. He's black and he's a rapper and like he can't perform very well, so he's like always on an oxygen tank. Yeah.
It's not on the couch.
And he couldn't think of his name. And so I was like, oh, let me Google it. And he was like, just Google wait, I took a screenshot. He was like, just Google obese black rapper or something like that.
Well, that's not nice.
Well, because like that's the guy's like what he's known for, right? Did I not take a screenshot? Oh no, I swear I took a screenshot. Anyway, I looked up obese black rapper and Google's dumbass just was like Lizzo.
Oh.
I was like, that's so accurate but mean.
That's not nice. Well, wait a minute. Didn't she lose some weight or something?
She did lose a ton of weight recently. Oh yeah, here we go.
I heard what you said there.
He said Google morbidly obese black singer.
That's not nice.
I'm like, damn, that's rude.
That is
Yeah,
rude.
so
But at
Matt-
least Google knows that, like, you know, the meme for a long time was that.
Matt Walsh covered that on his show, and it was some of the funniest commentary, I'll admit. Oh my goodness. He's talking about, like, yeah, we shouldn't put people in categories.
Mm-mm.
You know, I wouldn't put Dave Blunt in any category. He just doesn't fit in any category.
That's,
oh my God.
That's rude. That's rude.
All right.
Look, I have my logic alien on.
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
I think we've reached the end of our theme park conversation.
Have we? Oh my God. You know what that means?
What?
Well, I actually have one more that, Mom, I don't know if you want me to tell or
Oh,
not.
okay. Go ahead.
So my wife had a hard time acclimating
I
to our
almost told
family.
this story because Cheyenne
Yeah,
was in on this too.
Yeah, because we're just different than anything she's known.
Let's
rough.
just call it what it is. I'm pretty straightforward and blunt, and I don't mix words, but I
Yeah.
never say what I say maliciously. But you would
But-
never know that by listening to me talk.
Right, and like everybody in this group can be exhausting at one point or another. Like, you know, people get upset for one reason or another, it's just been a long day or whatever. And so there had been some bickering. There has been like, I want to do this, but I don't want to do that, and I want to go over here, and I blah, 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 blah.
So let's also include, I was being pushed around in a wheelchair because I had just had foot surgery, and Nan was with us, and Aunt Debbie.
Yeah.
So just add all that to the mix.
So I don't remember the exact what led up to this, but my wife like was in tears, and I tried to like console her.
I'll tell on myself. You don't have to be gentle.
Yeah, you go for it then. Because
I think my wife was involved.
Your
in
wife
this.
was
She
involved
was.
too. Yeah.
she was, and she took it much better.
So we were park hopping that day.
Mhm.
And when we left Magic Kingdom to go to Epcot, Nan and Aunt Debbie decided they didn't want to. They're like the generation above me. They're tired, want to go home, right? So they left. We'd had some group texting going on driving down. And so there were various fractions of groups, right? And they left. And so Nan, after they got out to the car and got on the interstate, texted back in a group that she thought was just she and I, and said, no, I take that back. She texted back in a group that was me, her, Cheyenne, Ariel. It was just all the girls. And so she texted back in that group saying, hey, we're on the road. Thanks for including us.
Ariel wasn't in whatever conversation.
It was
'cause
just
had
Cheyenne.
to tell her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I text back thinking it was my fault for not looking. I just assumed she was texting me directly. I text back going, glad you guys could join us. Glad you're, let me know you get home. Hope you make it safely. And oh my God, I need to put a ball gag in Ariel and Cheyenne's mouth. It's exactly what I said. I mean, it may not be verbatim, but it is the core of what I said. My
You
intention,
can laugh about it now.
my intention was, been a long day. I'm tired. They're yippee, 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 yippee. I want everyone to shut the hell up. It wasn't specifically the two of them.
Really, everybody needed to shut up.
Right. But because they had been
They're the two most talkative.
before you got right. And both of them have a tendency that when they get excited, their voices go like this. And I was just, and so when you guys came off of that ride, it was hell. Cheyenne was hell on wheels. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Calm down. Here's what I meant. But poor Ariel, still trying to learn her way, and our family was just in tears. Thought I hated her. Thought that we were just never going to be able to do or be anything together. And we wound up spending the night in Orlando. We'd planned to spend the night in Orlando, and I spent all night just telling her, I'm sorry I offended you. Wasn't my feelings. We all say things, but it just it took a long time, I think, for your wife to really understand that it wasn't, I didn't specifically mean it about her. It was the situation as a whole. It took a long
You say things in like a stressful moment that you don't quite register.
Everybody,
like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. Everybody, knows what that situation is like, but I don't know. I just was like, what is everybody so upset about? Just shut the hell up. You're on my nerves. I thought it was just plain and simple, like, stop talking. But apparently it didn't work that well. But, yeah.
You know it does work well?
Monkey mischief.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It works okay sometimes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. And I'm just assuming you don't know what we're talking about because you don't follow us on social media. But that's
shame on you.
But, whatever. So, but if you do, occasionally on Mondays, some Mondays, every other Monday, a Monday a month.
Sometimes on a Tuesday.
Pick your day. We will post
Never on Sunday.
Never on Sunday. Only on Monday. Just figure out which Monday. We will post the beginning of a dad joke and ask you to join us here on the episode to see if the guess that you dropped in the comments was correct. Now I'm going to ask these two monkeys and we're going to see which one of them gets this one right. Why do bananas wear sunscreen?
So they don't peel.
So they don't peel.
Woo!
Oh.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yay.
Look at that.
I love to see it.
I love that's one of my all-time favorites because I think it's funny.
It's a good one.
I do think it's
a
funny.
good one.
If you think that you have a dad joke that is of that caliber or better, don't send us anything less. You can visit us at www.monkeysunfiltered.com. There's a submission form at the bottom of the page. And when we voice your joke on air, Hayden, what happens?
They get a sticker.
Whoa, that was like a little anime waifu, dude. Holy cow.
We will absolutely. Oh, God, the hair on the back of my neck just went.
Golly.
We will 100% send you a Monkeys Unfiltered sticker that you can slap on whatever you want and show your monkey pride.
Dude, I could be a fucking voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever you say.
Totally.
You can't even be a podcaster.
None of us can.
Can y'all hear my dogs?
Yes.
Occasionally.
Never.
It's like they've been lapping up water for the last 30 minutes.
They're wrestling on the floor under my desk.
Wrestling.
Never going to be able to. Well, wrestling is different than wrestling.
WRASS.
Yeah, that's what dogs do. Dogs wrestle. Then they're wrestling under my desk, and I'm never going to be able to edit that out. So whatever. Just hope the soundtrack covers it up. There's that. Hey, and we learned a hard lesson about copywriting.
Yes, we did.
Won't be doing that again.
We didn't get in trouble,
but
we learned a lesson.
So, like, I found a YouTuber recently who, like, plays, I don't know, 20% of a movie and then, like, commentates throughout and it doesn't get taken down. I'm like, I don't understand how this works.
Because he's adding to it.
Yeah, but
he's adding value to the original content.
I'm sorry. I talked all over you. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's weird.
This last time, remember, we did a thing, and I don't think we've tried to post this one yet, but we watched videos, talked, and then watched more videos, talked, and then watched.
So I know there's an issue with the laws on that because I've seen people talk about this before. It's not 100% clear what is additive, and what's not. They try to come out with like, oh, you have to like this much percentage, and then it's just like, but who's really to say you're adding 20% more value to it?
Right. And that's what I told you one day when we were talking offline, that in visual creatives, there's a guideline of like 12% alteration or something, but still the original owner can come back and say, don't do that. And I think we must have just hit on, that was a pretty big one. And SNL, NBC must really have their copyright.
Well, and I should have thought about that beforehand, because like if any of them are going to ding you, it's going to be like the big dogs like Disney and NBC and all that.
Are you gonna try to edit out that portion of the last episode, Mom, with Negan?
Oh.
Yeah, I actually just played that for your benefit. I didn't even mean to like.
Yeah, because that's AMC, and I don't know how they're going to deal with it. But I would say just go ahead and cut it out.
Okay, so when that episode's hit, if y'all got to see Negan, then the answer to his question is no. If you didn't get to see him, then the answer is yes.
This is Schrodinger's Negan.
Excuse my fucking
Il est
French.
possible d'interagir tout au long de
That
ce
right
cours.
there.
Dans ces
Do it. I don't even know French. Fries. French fries.
We.
French
All right.
baguette.
Get the fuck out of here.
French
What are
wine.
you still do? Why are you still here?
Why are you still here?
I work here.
Leave.
Okay, bye-bye.
Now. Oh, well.
It was unbelievable.
Hold on 1 second. The pool guy's here and my dogs are about to go off.
They've been going off.